Hey, how's it going guys? It's Nate here. And the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim has its fair share of intriguing characters. A former Imperial soldier turned rebel leader after being betrayed. A crazed jester with an unhealthy attachment to corpses. You get the idea. Many of Skyrim's NPCs are simply interesting to learn about and be around. Most of these characters, however, are sort of shoved down our throat, playing huge leading roles in factions, or holding integral positions within quest lines. Which does make some sense. Bethesda should want to show off its most colorful characters. That said, there's also a handful of NPCs that are holding their own shocking secrets or hidden backstories that the player's left to uncover for themselves. These characters' stories aren't connected to any major quests or the like, but instead are only available to players that can connect the dots and do some detective work and digging without Bethesda holding their hand. Many of these NPCs may seem average or boring at first, but to players that have done the digging, turn out to be the exact opposite. So sit back and relax, as today we'll be taking a look at 5 surprisingly fascinating NPCs in The Elder Scrolls V. Starting off, we have Taylan Jay. He's an Argonian innkeeper who manages the Bee and Barb Inn in Riften, alongside his love interest, a fellow reptile person named Kirava. He claims to have moved to Riften from the Argonian province of Blackmarsh some time ago, though doesn't say how long, and now seeks to simply earn himself an honest fortune. Jay offers the quest, Sealing the Deal, where he enlists the Dragonborn's help in creating a wedding band he intends to propose to Kirava with. Furthermore, the Argonian is also locally well known for selling a variety of unique, custom-made beverages that he claims to have learned how to craft back during his time living in the city of Gideon in Blackmarsh. Well, those who have played through the Elder Scrolls I Arena may in fact actually recognize Jay based off of his tale. You see, back in Arena, which takes place around 250 years prior to the events of Skyrim, the player could visit the Argonian city of Gideon, and in that city, there was an Argonian bartender, also named Taylan Jay. Now, it's unclear if the one we meet in Skyrim is meant to literally be the same character we encountered in Arena, or if this is just meant to be a clever nod by Bethesda, but the first option doesn't seem to be entirely impossible. There's not a lot of information available regarding the lifespan of Argonians, at least not that I could find, so it would seem such a question is still debatable. Regardless, even if this is all merely a coincidence, it's still a pretty interesting one nonetheless. Next on our list, we head to the East Empire Company warehouse nearby Solitude. In here can be found a plethora of cargo boxes being stored for future transportation, as well as dozens of local workers that power this whole operation. Well, it appears that some workers are working much harder than others. Lying on a bedroll towards the west end of the warehouse is a Nordic man, appropriately named Snore. What's so unique about this well-rested Nord is that with the exception of combat, he will never leave his bedroll. Ever. His AI is set to sleep 24/7, 365, or however many days are in a Skyrim year. If you attempt to interact with our sleepy-headed friend, he will open his eyes and say, "You're not supposed to be in here." However, still won't even bother to get up, unlike most other characters you disturb while they're sleeping. How Snored remains employed and keeps from getting fired immediately is beyond me. However, his behavior serves as an inspiration to us all. Coming in at number 3, we have most of the bandits at White River Watch. White River Watch is a bandit cave stronghold, located east of Whiterun, and already has a rather interesting bunch of inhabitants. For one, when you first kill a bandit outside of the compound, a letter will automatically be spawned on their inventory, which reads the following. Rodolph, your little stunts try my patience. I know my uncle has his issues, but he is our watchman, and you will respect him. No more sneaking out, no more games with his ledger, or nails in his chair. One more joke, and you'll see how funny a day in the cage can be. Signed, Javier Ironhand, the bandit tribe's leader. It appears many of the raiders in this cave have taken to picking on one of their co-workers. Well, enter the cave and things will start to make sense, as you'll be greeted by a bandit watchman named Ulfr the Blind. This seems to be the harassed uncle the letter was referring to. Ulfr will humorously mistake you for one of his own and allow you to pass. On a nearby table is Ulfr's book, which is nothing but blank pages. It seems this poor man's lack of sight has made him a rather easy target for his peers. Additionally, at the end of the dungeon, the player can confront the bandit chief Javier, who has a journal of his own, where he describes his frustrations with recent guard patrols, as well as his relationship with his uncle Ulfer. This is already quite a complex and deep background for a group of what are seemingly generic bandits. But on top of all of that, it looks like some are also even actively planning a mutiny. If you're able to stealthily approach a pair of bandits in the cave, you may hear the following conversation.
So, you in?
Yeah. We can't have that roomy-eyed fool as our watchman, even if he is Hajvar's uncle. Time we dealt with both of them.
We strike tonight at dusk. Be ready.
Now, no uprising actually takes place. You can come back at any time and the cave will still be under the same leadership, assuming you didn't murder everyone to death. But still, just another problem for this dysfunctional bandit tribe to deal with. Getting close to the end here at number 4, Naren is an Altmer vendor living in Windhelm. It's made pretty apparent, both in conversations you can overhear, as well as during the Thieves Guild's own questline, that she is heavily affiliated with the Somerset Shadows, an organization of elite high elf thieves hailing from the Somerset Isles, hence their name. But these hidden ties aren't even what I would consider the most intriguing thing about this secretive Altmer. You see, on her inventory, she carries the key to something called the Darkwater Pit. That said, there's nothing called the Darkwater Pit in-game for that key to open. There's no specific chests labeled Darkwater Pit, nor are there any rooms or locations. There is a specific Falmer cave known as Darkwater Crossing, but that key can't be used to open anything there either. Well, strangely enough, in Naren's own home, if the player accesses her basement by interacting with a hidden door, you'll be able to use this Darkwater Pit key to actually open up one of her own safes. So this key should be named Naren Safe Key or something similar, as that's all it's really used for. What likely happened here is that Bethesda accidentally named this key something that they weren't supposed to. It's also possible that Naren could have been related to some cut quest or location, but that's left up to our imaginations. Whatever the strange reasoning behind this circumstance is, it's still rather intriguing nonetheless. Next on our list, Drella Allure is a Dunmer merchant, living and selling supplies with her father Fethys at Raven Rock. She has a rather sad past. Her and Fethys moved to Solstheim following an Argonian raid on their settlement in Morrowind, which resulted in the death of Drella's mother. Now her and Fethys struggle to make a living out of their shop on the island, and they often talk about how just unhappy they are with their current situation. But maybe not all is lost for Drella. It's hinted, if not blatantly spelled out in the game, that she has a secret ongoing romantic relationship with the local Raven Rock Guard captain, Modin Velith. A letter can be found in Drella's house, written by the captain. It reads, quote, "Dearest Drella, I know that your father doesn't approve of us, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make our relationship work. I think the time has come to speak to him in person and stop letting him hear about us through gossip and rumor. I love you, and I don't care if the entire world knows. Please think about it. Signed, Modin." If that's not enough for you, both Velith and Drella can occasionally be seen together at the local inn/tavern, the Retching Netch, from 8 AM to 10 AM. As mentioned, this isn't a part of any quests, so you're never given the opportunity to help this pair out with their dilemma. But that said, maybe Drella does have something to like about Solstheim after all. And there you have it, 5 surprisingly fascinating characters in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Which of these on this list were your personal favorites? And what NPCs do you know of that have interesting backstories or hiding certain secrets that seem relatively average or normal at first? Leave a comment down below. As always, like ratings are very much appreciated, and hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.